Hello and welcome back. If you're new, I'm Deirdre, and yes, it's 2021 and I'm back from my summer break because down here in Australia this is summertime, and yeah, it's been great to just have a break. All sorts of things, but back to work and let's go. So I've actually filmed this video about 3 times because I keep going around and around and around. What does planning mean today? Because 2020 threw us just a bit of a curveball and changed up the whole concept, for me anyway, of goals and things that I was after and how I was going to attain them and all of that, because quite frankly it all went to custard. It was just a pretty dreadful year. So I've changed up my planning. I've gone round and round this and I've thought, what is it that I'm balking at? Why don't I just do, these are the goals, this is how I do it, step by step, SMART goals, action steps, my how, my why, etc. Because it just wasn't working for me. In the past, my goal setting was all about writing down a specific goal. What was my why? What was my how? What were the milestones? Related to achieving that. And that's good. There's nothing wrong with that. But it wasn't working for me anymore. I've decided that I need something that is a little bit more fluid. So on one hand, you've got the old ones, the task goals, the embarrassing ones, like I will finally, after 30, I'm not telling you how many years, 30 something years, become an Australian citizen, because I don't have to lose my New Zealand citizenship in order to do this, but it has been on my list for quite a few years. So that one, for example, is a yes-no task goal. It's something that I know how to do it, I know what the steps are involved. Quite honestly, I've done probably 98% of it. I just halt right at the last minute and don't go ahead with that difficult one thing that I have to do to get me over the line. So that one, for example, is a really good example of a task goal. It's yes, no, achieve it or not. So it's the sort of goal that you can apply the SMART acronym to, specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time specific. And that's a good thing for a task goal, to break it down that way. What are the steps involved, etc., and measure as you go. And the thing is with task goals is that if you don't achieve them, it's sort of like a big X in the box and fail. Didn't do that, did you? Which is, it's fine. If that's going to be an incentive for you, that's good. And as a task goal, we'll get it up and running. Now, this is a downsizers channel. So obviously downsizing is one of those things. People say, oh, right, this is the year I'm going to downsize. And then they get caught in the overwhelm of the process, because we're not talking about somebody who's 23 decides they're going to call themselves downsizers and moves into a tiny house. That's lovely. That's something different. This is 5 bedrooms, the belongings, possessions, beloveds of a lifetime, from a big family home into, like I'm in, an apartment. And I'll talk about this more because is it nearly 3 years now? So anyway, the lessons I've learned along the way and the things that I can help with, because it is an overwhelming task if you just see it as a yes, no, achieved, not. You can be setting yourself up to fail, and that's never a good thing. Nobody needs that on us in this particular life at the moment. In particular, we need to grab as much positive energy and positive everything as we can, because believe me, if we let the negative stuff in, we'll just get overwhelmed. So what I've come up with is, yes, there's that place over there for all those lovely task goals, and then there's this nice place over here called destination goals. They're also goals, because you need to point the finger to give you a destination. You need your compass in order to get there. But these are the goals where you focus on your gain and not your gap. Like, hey, yes, I have achieved this much over the quarter or the half year or the year. That when we go into 2022, wow, I'm going to look back and say, hey, I'm doing so much better. That's a destination goal. It doesn't have a start. Well, it does have a start. It starts now, but it sort of gets rid of the specific bit out of the SMART goal, and definitely the time constraint, because it's about moving in the direction that you want to go. For example, if you literally go on a journey from Melbourne to Sydney, Sydney's a wee bit locked down at the moment, but it'll come through. It's all right. It's doing really well. Now I can get in my car and leave my home and be in Sydney, 8-ish hours later. All right, we'll say 10 for the sake of argument, because we've had rest stops along the way. Yeah, I know, nobody wants to drive with me. So it's a straight through up the Hume. That's the main freeway that goes between Melbourne and Sydney. You barely go through a town anymore. They've bypassed everything. It's really good, great drive, good road. Don't do it at night, there are kangaroos and trucks, but during the day, it's a lovely drive. Or you can do it a different way. You can cut in and go up through the country towns and perhaps come back over into Sydney, over the Blue Mountains and down into the city that way. That'll take longer. Or you could say, hey, I'll go up, but maybe I'll camp on the Murray, which is the big river that divides. It's the boundary between the state of Victoria and the state of New South Wales, where Sydney is. And you can say, oh, I'll camp on the Murray for a few days. Spend a bit of time, chill, but you're still heading to Sydney. You could also go over the Great Divide. Australia doesn't really have big mountains, but it's a mountain range. It's a Great Divide. Get snow, you can go skiing. Beautiful trip. Or you can just keep on going to the east and follow the coast around and go up through Merimbula and beautiful coast. Eden, all the places up along the coast, Jervis Bay, and then you get up and you come into Sydney in from the southeastern side and you go that way. You see, that's a journey. You can go different ways. You're still going to your destination and you get there. Or, you decide that you really don't want to get there all this year. You might just stop and chill on the beach, and that'll be fine too. It'll be your choice. But the thing is, you will have moved towards your goal. That's what I want. Now, the way we do this is, of course, routines, habits, systems. And I've talked about those a lot in the past, and if you'd like me to talk about those some more, then I certainly will. So what are some of mine? Well, in the task list, the big one obviously is that Australian citizenship. I really need to get that done, and I'll let you know when I've done it. There are a couple of other things I'm working on that are quite specific, quite task oriented, quite yes or no. And in the destination, gain over gap sort of ones, well, once again, the usual subjects. I will eat green salads a lot more. I'll get rid of the COVID weight I put on last winter when we were in lockdown. I'll run up 10 flights of stairs without being puffed. The sorts of things, quite frankly, at the end of the year I can run up 6 flights of stairs without getting puffed. That will be a gain over gap. However this works for you, it might be that this is your year of downsizing and you just want to get started, and maybe you just say, well, hey, I'll start on one room, or I'll start on all of those kids things that I've got sitting in the attic or the basement or in a cupboard somewhere, or God forbid in a storage unit. But yeah, and you'll work on those, and even if come the end of the year that's all you've done, that's a lot. That's, in fact, because that's particularly difficult, because that's all those little kids things and all the photos that weren't digital. Maybe you'll digitize them. That's a monster. I shouldn't have brought that one up, should I? God, photos, I know. Don't even go there. I want to focus, and I want you to come with me on this. We'll try and focus on feeling positive about that movement towards where we want to be. And hopefully, come the end of 2021, we can all take a slightly deeper breath and look back and say, hey, in difficult times, we did okay. Give yourself a little, pat on the back. It's all good. So that's my thing for today. I hope that it added something for you, and if you like that, you'll subscribe, give me a thumbs up. It really matters for YouTube, for all the analytics and things. It really helps my channel. That's something else I have to work on, another task, also a destination. But yeah, so do those things for me. If you enjoyed this, let me know what you are planning to do and how you're going to do them and how you're going to divide them up. Leave me a note down, down there in the comments. And I hope that whatever you're doing, wherever you are keeping safe and well and happy. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.